and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Happy Wednesday, April 12th. It's nice and bright and early this morning for me here. And no, I am not crying. I'm not upset. I had an allergy attack a few minutes ago and my eyes are watering. So if you see me wiping the tears, it's just tears of joy for the interview. There's no drama going on behind the scenes. It's just a lovely little cat allergy. So, without further ado, I'm so excited to bring on our guest. Please welcome Mariel. I think I said it wrong again to the show.
It's okay. Yes, it's Mariel, but that is totally fine.
Yes, I have to remember that L, Mariel. There we go. Well, welcome. I'm so excited for you to be here. As the title says, you are a nurse, a mom of four, all of that good stuff. So let's dive in. Share with all of us how you got started, how you found Legendary to begin with.
Yeah, so early last year, I was exhausted, as many of us were after COVID and stuff like that, with my career, my nursing career. I have been a nurse for like 22 years, actually, so it had been a while coming.
Yep.
4 kids. I was a young mom. So my first baby I had actually at 17. So he was the reason I became a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So with being a nurse for so long, it just, you work holidays, you work weekends, you're away from the family a lot. You miss a lot, you feel
Yeah.
like you miss out on a lot of things. So, but it's very rewarding. It was a great profession. But early 2022, I just was like, man, I feel like I've missed these guys' a lot of their life trying to make ends meet, whatever. So I started kind of looking. I had a really good friend who's always like kind of pushed me, like, she's always been this entrepreneur, always been had her hand in all kind of things. And so she was like, hey, try this. It was an MLM, right? So I'm
Okay.
like, okay, let me give it a try.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I failed miserably at this. So it's okay, because that journey, as I'm online kind of researching that, keep in mind, I didn't even have a TikTok. Like, I'm not a social media person at all in any
Right.
way. So I had been actually started originally my TikTok to kind of research this MLM. In the
Yep.
meantime, I come across a bunch of videos about making money online. So as I'm failing miserably at this other venture, I come across Legendary. So I'm like, what is this? And I watch it and watch it and watch it. And I'm like, this sounds spectacular. I mean, this is
Mhm.
absolutely not what I'm doing in my current
Right.
thing. Like, talking to my family, like
Mm-hmm.
just kind of looking silly. And I think I could maybe do this. So I did watch it for a couple months actually. And then I jumped in. I just
Wow.
jumped
I
in.
love
So
that. So, what I'm hearing, which is what I love and I want everyone to really grasp, is you were looking for something. So, you said, let's try. Let's try the MLM. And then it wasn't really working out. You weren't connecting with it. There was some things going on that it just wasn't right for you. But instead of going, oh, I'm done with this whole journey and going back and never looking again, you were still open. It was like it was just a step in your journey towards something more.
absolutely.
And as long as we stay open to that and see where the next door takes us, um, that's what I love about this process and your story. Because look at where you're at now.
Yeah,
Because
man.
of that MLM.
Yes, man. It has sure been a process too, because it's been a while. I've been on this journey. I feel like for a while, which has been great because it's all been part of the journey. And I think that's one thing everybody really has to kind of remember, is that each of our journeys is our own. So,
Yeah.
because it's so hard to not compare yourself to everybody else, especially when you're, one of us that kind of struggles a little bit. And especially when you have so much, like, you just really want it to happen, and you're like, I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen tomorrow. Like, I'm going to do it. It's going to be this video. But then it's like, it didn't happen again, or whatever.
Right.
And you keep going, and you're going to keep going. But
Hmm.
you just, for me, it's like there's been a lot of roadblocks along the way and things that have happened. But I try to give myself grace and remember that you have to just keep going. And this is your journey. Your journey might look different than everybody else's.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just, it's easy to say, it's hard to do, right?
So much. Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy to say, I'm not going to compare myself to anyone else. I'm not going to compare myself to Joe Schmo over here who looks like they just, landed $1 million in 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm not going to compare myself, and you're like, oh, I'm sitting at 3 views on a video,
Right.
right? So
Seriously.
that's where you got to dig deep. You got to look inside and remember, why are you doing this?
Yep.
And we may think this guy over here or this lady over here had overnight success, but we really don't know their whole journey or
Right.
how long it took them or what they were doing before and all of
That's
those
true.
pieces that come to play. And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know your journey, and they may think, oh my gosh, I wish I had 7,000 followers on TikTok.
It's
And I
so
want to be
true.
where you are right now, right? So you
It's so
started,
true.
you signed, so it took you a few months to even start the challenge, right?
Yep.
What do you think was holding you back in that period right there?
Yeah. So I signed up in September, and um, I life. I
Yeah.
was gonna say I don't even know the answer to that question. I sat on it. I think I started the challenge, but I didn't even jump right in. I watched. I did watch. I was super into it. I loved it. I
Mhm.
thought about it every day. I would watch. I
Mhm.
would research. I would follow. Everybody. I would watch their videos, and then it would take me a couple days. I talked to the advisor, and it had absolutely nothing to do with not not knowing that I was totally going to do this, and that, like, the
Mhm.
end result was going to be that I was going to be successful at this. And even now, like, I still know that the end result is going to be, absolute success at this, right? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
ultimately, I want this to be my full time thing, which it's not right now. I'm still
Right.
working. Um, but it's just gonna, I think, take me a little longer than most, which is, for me, okay.
Right. And I think sometimes it's learning how to make it a part of your life.
Hmm. That was part of the process.
And that it's just like starting a new workout routine or trying to add the gym to your schedule. We all know there's some struggle with that.
Yeah.
It's hard, and it's harder for others to plug that in
Yes.
to where
Yes.
you're consistently able to show up
Yep.
and be on a schedule. And
Hmm.
I'm assuming, but you definitely share with us that that was most likely, like, it sounds like a problem, an issue, a
Yeah.
roadblock for you, something you needed to figure out, and it took a little time to figure it out.
Yeah, it was definitely the scheduling and the time, the being consistent. I was very, like, tech. The tech thing was hard for me because
Yeah,
I literally, my 10-year-old, like, helped me with TikTok. Like, he
I
was,
love
like,
that.
helping me edit and, like, do all my videos because my family and my kids are in, like, all my videos, which, so I do a lot of, uh, oh gosh, I just lost the word. Recording a bunch of videos at
Yeah,
one time. I
yeah,
do a lot of batching, but
yeah.
I do also record as I'm going through my life too. Just,
Mhm.
us walking or playing or whatever we're doing that day, eating dinner. So that's a lot of my content as well, because that's really what I want. is like more time freedom. I feel like I missed a lot of their life, and that's one of my really big goals, is being able to be with them more. Aside
Yeah.
from the extra income, which is great too,
Right.
but the time freedom really more. So I do record a lot of that too, and they help me. So that was one of my big roadblocks. Being consistent for sure. And
Hmm.
I think the education piece, because not only the um, learning the skills, you get your stuff set up and you're good, you got it rolling, but for me, I wanted it to be a little bit more authentic. So I wanted to like update my email list and, make it mine.
Right.
And,
Right.
I really was petrified for some reason of the talking videos, like explaining, and I felt like I needed to know every bit of information so that I could sound, knowledgeable. But really, in reality, I should have just started talking, like just
Right.
started saying it earlier.
Right.
So I
That's actually a really big hang up for people to actually launch their business. They're in the education, they've learned how to do it, they got the funnel set up, they got the tech set up, and then they're like, wait a minute, I'm not an expert, I'm not a guru. And you talk yourself right back out of it.
you really
And
do.
you don't need to know everything. You just need to know one or two steps ahead of someone else. And you
Yeah,
know a lot once you've gone through the challenge
you
than what
do.
you did before you go into the challenge. So it's almost reminding yourself you have learned. Look at what you've learned. Go back and look. Oh my gosh, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this. I wish I had known about this before I signed up. And that's where your content like starts to base from.
Yeah.
You're in this niche, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, but it's really looking at no matter what niche you're in, what can I help a friend out that I have just a little more information about? And that's where you start. And I love
Exactly.
you. You just have to go. How did you get yourself just to finally hit post?
Oh my gosh, it was hard, but I literally just did. I think I actually watched, one of these videos, and finally I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I attended a couple times one of the, the hot seats, I think,
Uh-huh.
um, and that really was helpful. It was very helpful. So I took some of their advice and I just did it. That was initially I was just doing like my face and like words on the screen. Then I
Mhm.
said, okay, I set a goal and I'm going to start like really explaining things and talking. So I did that, and that was a goal. And then starting to want to go live more or at all. So I did that, and
So no matter what, you were like, okay, this makes me uncomfortable and I'm going to take action anyways. Okay, this
yep,
makes me uncomfortable. I'm going to take action anyways. And
yep,
that's when you started seeing growth in your
yeah,
followers,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
for
like,
sure,
okay, wait a minute. I'm uncomfortable. I'm scared shitless,
yeah,
but I took action and I'm seeing results from that action,
yes,
right? So it's like, okay, everybody that's sitting there scared, they've got a bunch of videos sitting in their drafts. It's time to start posting, guys, right?
yes, yes,
Step
absolutely.
through it. All right, so let's talk about going live. How did that, if you were nervous before to even talk, how did you talk yourself into hitting that live button and going live? How long was your first live?
Like I think literally 5 minutes, probably less. So you when you're live, you it's like you're talking to yourself. So I had psyched myself up, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. I thought in my mind, I had step, but I had said everything that I was going to say in 30 seconds, because nobody's commenting, and you come in and first you have 300 people, and then within 20 seconds you're down to like one person or none. Everybody leaves, because you're boring because you don't know what you're doing at first. So I'm like, oh Lord. And then, you know what happened to me the first time, which was really, you have some trolls that come in, you know, and I didn't have anybody that was helping me. My son was going to help me, you know, block people or whatever when they
Yeah.
come in and don't,
Yeah.
that they're not nice. So, but he wasn't there. So I had some trolls, and then I actually was like, oh my gosh, they're saying mean things, you know, whatever. So I just stopped it. I just hung it up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never doing that again, ever. I'm never doing it.
Mhm.
And then it took me like a whole month to decide I was going to try it again. And the next time it got better. And then, I actually, after watching, you know, I watch others' lives all the time.
Yeah.
And so I kind of made a little preparation, like a PowerPoint kind of thing for myself for the first couple times. So now I have a little bit of a spiel that I can kind of go on.
Follow.
Yeah.
And you can't learn the confidence of going live without actually going live.
Yeah.
I think most people have a very similar story of at some point it just like you just get too the anxiety grows too strong within your chest, you're sweating, you
Yeah.
can feel your heart rate going, you're having a physical reaction and you're like, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. And it's like silly because nobody's even in, like literally one person was in there. I could have just practiced, you know, and talked to
Yeah,
myself really,
right.
but I don't know.
And it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
But no matter what, you didn't let it stop you. You didn't go, I quit, I'm out, I'm canceling my funnels
Yeah.
account, I'm walking away, you know?
Over.
It wasn't that moment. It was like, all right, I gotta work through this. I need to figure
Right.
this out.
No.
And on your schedule, it took about 30 days. You did a little more research, you got yourself a little more prepared, and you hit the live button again. That's awesome. I can't tell you the number of people that just choose to walk away completely instead of facing their fear, facing the next step, the next stage, and tackling it. And you freaking tackled it like a boss. And you now have a business that is continually growing. And that's awesome. That's such a huge example of you felt what everyone is going through in our community in a variety of different ways. I got worried about this. I wasn't consistent at the start. I was too scared to go live and I hit cancel and shut it off right away. And but you kept stepping through it at your own pace. And I want everyone to really understand that there's not a schedule to sit on as long as you keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a freaking beautiful process. And it really shows how strong you are actually. I mean, you have to be mentally strong as a nurse. You handle a lot. But to apply that to yourself is really, it's something to be proud of. And it's really cool. And I really love that you're sharing that with all of us this morning for sure.
Well, thank you.
So,
Yeah, this business has been actually starting this business has been um, mentally harder for me than my nursing career, to be honest. Like sticking with this and like I'm gonna do this and make this work. Yeah, it's it has taught me a lot about myself actually.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
interesting.
when you become your own boss and you're not just checking boxes for someone else or a role that you're in, and it's all you answer to yourself,
Mhm.
you're faced with all the ghosts, the
Seriously.
worries, the self-doubt, all the mindset, all the self-esteem issues that you didn't really even know were there. They're there.
Yeah, like literally, I was like toying, I was thinking about mentioning in this interview, like, it's interesting. You would never think that, like, starting an online business would literally take you on a journey of like healing your childhood trauma. Like, it's so weird how, like, starting and really looking at yourself, like, the things, the people in your life, like, how you think of yourself, how you think of, do I really deserve this? Do I deserve better? Do I deserve different?
Mhm.
Do I deserve a life, that I've always dreamed of? Like all those things, right? Like, because that's really what it is, like I've spent so many years like working, but I've envisioned my life so different. And to get that end result, like being able to take vacations when I want, spending time when I want at will with my kids, doing whatever I want to do, right? And
Mhm.
not answering to somebody else, you have to really feel like you deserve, what you and you're worthy of what you desire, right? So to get to that point, you have to like really look at yourself and realize those things. So that is ultimately what I think took me so long to get here, was kind of being on that journey, um, of, so that was a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's something that every single person has to face. You can't ignore it. And those that try to ignore it really struggle with their business
Yeah.
because they're not showing up authentically in their content. Viewers can tell that there are walls, and until you face it, you can't get through it.
Yeah.
And it's more than just tech, guys. You got to face the mindset issue. You got
Yeah.
to tackle it head on. Um, but it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to handle and fix mindset this week. It's not a fix, it's an ongoing upkeep, I think
Mhm.
is the right word. Would you say that? Would you
Yeah,
agree?
for sure. Like it's an everyday, struggle, especially when it's something that you've struggled with apparently, for probably, your whole life, really. Like for me, I think it's been a looming problem for me
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, but until I really realized, like, yes, I absolutely deserve to be, happy, and I deserve to have all these things that I want. And but you have to see that and realize, that those things. So, but yeah, it's been fun. But now I look at my content differently. I look at the whole path differently, the journey differently. So every day it's like, which part are we gonna tackle today? Like, instead
Yeah.
of like, oh, I need to get a sale. I didn't get a sale today, or I didn't get not a sale, but I didn't get nothing. I didn't get anything accomplished today, but really I did. It's just gonna, my journey is gonna look different than somebody else's.
Yeah, it's you, but you're building a long-term business and you can't tackle everything every day,
Yeah, totally. It's a
right?
long term. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a longer journey and you're like, all right, I got an hour today. This is my focus and my priority for today. And then the
Exactly.
next day is something else, and the next day is something else. And sometimes people make their list of everything that needs to happen. It's like that's like an entire business that you're
Yeah.
going to do over the next 2 years, and you're saying you can't launch until all of that's done.
Right.
It's not possible.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, we need to be a little more realistic of what needs to be out there. Going back to the term and the topic of you're worth it. I think it's something that both males, females, everyone feels, but women especially are kind of taught, especially not super young ones, everyone that's a little bit older, taught to you take care of everybody else first.
Oh my
You
gosh.
are not to be number one. And when we do that, which is required as starting your own business, it's kind of like that, oh, I'm being selfish.
Yes, totally.
And then it's a negative. And it's like, no, you're not being selfish. You're actually growing and putting yourself where you need to be first so that you can help everyone else a little bit more.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. And yes, I agree with that 100%, especially, yeah, and bringing it back to my life. Like I said, I was a young mom. I took care of my little sister too before that. And then being a young mom, and then just continuing to have kids throughout. Then I became a nurse, like at 20. So it's
Right.
just been constantly taking care of people. So I think when I turned 40, I'm like, I have to do something for myself. I need it, it
Yeah.
needs to change because I'm exhausted. And so there's got to be a point when, you know, so that I can give back to everybody else even more. I gotta fill my own cup up for a minute. And I really was like ignited, like it was a new, fire in my soul. Like when I found this, because it made me happy, it was exciting, it was something new, and I was learning new things, and so it was like the perfect timing for all of this to kind of fall together.
Yeah, and it's I feel the same way. And there was a point where you're like, crap, I'm feeling selfish, I'm feeling negative, but it's going, you know what? Screw that. I'm not being selfish
That's
because this
right.
excites me. And if the people in my life care about me, they'll want something that excites me and that
Yeah.
I'm inspired by, and I'm excited to take action and learn more and go try new things. And it's just
Yes.
it goes back to that mindset shift of, yeah, deciding, you know what, I am worthy. I want my kids to feel worthy, but they won't feel it and know it unless they see it in me, that I also feel worthy myself.
Yep. Yep. It's a tough shift, I think, when everybody realizes it too. Like, okay, moms, you know, my household felt it, like when things changed
Mhm.
around here, but everybody was very supportive. And now they can feel that I'm so much happier, things are lighter. I was able to cut back at work at my nursing job.
Mhm.
So, and I decided to do that because I needed the relief, and
Yeah.
this allowed me to do that. So, it's been really really great.
Love this journey you are on. Oh my goodness. So let's go a little techie for everyone.
Okay.
We've had a lot of mindset, so let's have a little tech session, because I know this is something that a lot of people ask. And you
Yeah.
mentioned it on your questionnaire. So I'm like, oh, I love this.
Okay.
So before you get to 1,000 followers and you are having those DM conversations, you're directing them to Instagram so they can
Mhm.
click your link over there. And everyone's like, I don't know how to do that. How do you do it smoothly? And you also do voice messages, which I love. A lot of affiliates are now adding that in. So let's first talk about that first, getting to 1,000 and building a following and connections with those people. What was the way and the process that you did that?
So before I got to 1,000, I did a lot of, yes, that's what I did. Follow me, head to my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my bio, and then they would go to Instagram. Instagram is so much easier to have a conversation. You can be so much more personal, not only in your DMs, because you can have longer conversations, but also you have that ability to voice a message. So you have, I think, like 3 minutes to have a voice chat, and they can hear your voice, they know that you're a real person. You can put in your character, say funny things. And I think that helped me, because obviously TikTok, you can grow faster. You get a lot of people to see you, but you can't have that connection or that conversation very well, because you get what, three characters in your little message comment there.
Right.
So you can't really have a good connection. But that worked really well initially, was for me to send people to my Instagram. I actually have my Instagram handle on the top of both of my TikTok accounts. And I can even just say that. I was just saying that, like, in my comments.
That was your call to action and things like
Yeah.
that. Hey, go check
Yeah.
out my Instagram. It's up in my bio.
Yes. Head to my Instagram so that we can, or I would reply to comments that way. Go to my Instagram so that we can talk more. About it. I can tell you more about it, stuff like that. And that
Right.
would be my call to action. Then once I got them to Instagram, build a relationship. And then I use my Instagram a lot for like my stories because it's much more personal. I feel like you can record a quick, hey, good morning, like, how's everybody today? Or shoot like me and my kids on the way to school. And I try to do that. Instagram has been my like nemesis because it just won't grow. And I started 2 Instagram accounts because I was building like my personal one, and then I started a second one when when I started the journey.
Okay.
And so that one is growing a little bit better. I don't have a whole lot of followers, but it's growing. And then I actually have 2 TikTok accounts too because I kept getting
Warnings.
flagged. So I was scared they were going to shut me down. So I'm like, crap, I need to start another one. So I grew that one to like 1,500 as well. So yeah. So get people over to your Instagram, create a relationship that way, and then it's really easy to DM people and kind of build your community that way, and have a closer communication.
Yeah, it's like Instagram, you become human.
Yes.
Maybe like TikTok's just like, it's just some person, maybe it's a bot, maybe it's fake videos, who knows? Maybe it's an actor. And then you get them to Instagram, they're like, oh, you are a nurse and mom of 4. Okay.
Yes.
I hear your personality. I hear all of that. Right?
So true. So true. And that seemed to really work, especially because you don't have a link in your TikTok
Yeah,
before it out.
definitely. Do you still, even though now you're over 7,000 followers on TikTok, do you still sometimes direct people, hey, let's go have a conversation on IG?
I do. I do. A lot of times my call to action will just be go to the link in my bio, but recently, because I'm trying to grow my Instagram right now,
Yeah.
because of all the stuff going on with TikTok, I need I need a backup.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do. And it's so nice to be able to talk to people back and forth and have that connection.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally you can make a video like, "Hey, let's chat over on IG. Go give me find my account, give me a follow, send me a DM. Let me see how I can help you."
I have totally done that. Yes. 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 I would recommend doing that.
Oh, I love that. I think a lot of times there's this I have to be on TikTok only. I have to get to 1,000 followers, and people are so focused on that number and getting to 1,000, they're willing to do whatever it takes, even if the 1,000 aren't even their ideal audience. It's other marketers or it's bots or whatever, and it's like, well, you go live, you're going live to nobody, and then
Yes.
you're now you have a new hurdle to get through, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's ways around it, and don't get so hung up on that 1,000 number on TikTok.
Not at all. Not at all. You know what? I had, you could have 1 million followers and 0 sales. Like I had 2 videos go viral. They were like very specific audience. I had like a pet video go viral and another video go viral, and like 0 sales come out of that. And then I had people trickle in, trickle, who were following me for a long time. And, I noticed them liking my videos and saw way more success from the tiny little bits of growth that I've had over a month, than kind of those it's nice
10,
to go viral,
yeah,
obviously.
10 raving fans that are connected to you as a human
Yes.
will
Yes.
produce more income for you and your business than 1,000 randoms
Yes. Yes.
that
And
could
I
care
have
less.
really noticed that to be true.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where the vanity numbers are nice. They give us a little confident boost, but they aren't what actually brings in cash to
Yes.
our business
Yes.
if we're looking for that. But taking the time, even though you're busy, to make a personal connection with somebody and sending those voice memos. I know many affiliates in our own community do that as well. The ones that are absolutely killing it are taking the time and doing a lot of voice memos and just building that human connection, that
Yeah.
social connection a little bit more. And Instagram also now sees you're using their platform, you're staying on platform longer because you're having those conversations there. And they'll start pushing your content out more over
Yes.
time.
I agree 100%. I have definitely seen growth and success because of those things for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Well, holy schmoly, this was a great interview. I know you shared, this is a process of feeling confident. I know you're a little worried. You made a comment like I'm not as far along as others. You're pretty far along. You've overcome a lot that a lot of our viewers right now sitting here live are going, crap, that's what I'm going through. And you're able to show them what it looks like when you keep going, what it looks like on the other side through it, which is just awesome. And that's even more content for you to share.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to really convey the message that you can totally overcome a lot of stuff, and it feels good when you do.
Yeah, definitely. And your journey is on your own schedule, your own time. And I think everyone, if you do anything for yourself today, it's give yourself some grace.
Yes.
Give yourself some grace, and then whatever size action it is, a little baby step
Yeah.
or a big monster leap, just do one of them. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. You definitely need to come back, meet
Absolutely.
Dave, all of that good stuff. Uh,
Yes.
please go. I have her TikTok up here on the screen. And then here is, you can find her on Instagram, and go follow either one of those. Definitely. And then you can find her on either platform. Send her a DM, send her a message, let her know you saw
I'll
her
send
on
you a
her.
voice message.
Well, thank you again for coming on. We are back tomorrow with another great episode, but I really appreciate you, and keep me posted on how things are going. And we need to have you come back for sure.
Okay, I sure will. Thank you so much, Joanne.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, everyone. If you missed any of this interview, like I say every day, but it's so true, go back and watch it. There was so much mindset advice, so many roadblocks that I know a lot of you feel and are going through, that she shared how she made it through to the other side and is now growing a pretty awesome online business for herself and for her family. So definitely go check out this interview. And as always, we will be back tomorrow with another guest. Stay legendary. Peace.